to a moment to move, and it's time to move. And this one's going to be a little bit funky. There's just a transition in there that's going to be a little bit, maybe a little bit different to what you've done previously, maybe not. Bear with me, the cues might be a little strange, but we'll work it out and we'll get through this, I promise. So just take a couple of seconds to ground yourself. Deep inhale, broaden through the chest, relax the shoulders, the neck, the chin, the tongue. Suck in a little bit more air, a bit more. Exhale, sigh it all out. Alright, we're just going to come in for a quick wrist warm up. So bring the hands down, shoulders over the wrists, and we're just going to walk out the hands. So keep some weight in there, nice and evenly distributed, but more towards the index finger and the thumb. Grip the fingertips into the mat, and just lean over to the left, keep pushing the ground, and externally rotate the hand, right hand to the right, and then shift over to the right side, and the same with the left. We're just going to walk the hands in, and every time you shift one side, you lift the other hand. Fingertips now facing towards the knees, and then we'll go back the other way. Fingertips facing out. Nice and gently, just pedaling out the hands. Internally rotate to where your maximum comfort is, and then start walking back the other way. Until your fingertips are facing towards the knees again, and we're just going to walk them so the fingertips are facing forward. Gentle rock back and forth. Up onto the toes and shake out the wrists. I always like the toes because it stretches the underneath of your feet. You generally don't stretch your feet as much as you think or would even know about. I'm going to move this block a bit further away. And we're going to come into a tabletop. Again, hips stacked over the knees to the best that you can judge, and elbows and shoulders over the hands. We're going to do something called bird dog. So you're going to step your right foot back, left arm forward, and then raise them up, trying to keep the pelvis nice and level. Place them down, bring back, extend the right hand, left foot, and bring back. Nice and simple. This time we're going to crunch, so we're going to bring the left elbow to knee, right knee, extend away, shift back down. Push the ground away from you as you come in for that crunch. Nice and controlled movements. Slow it down if you need a little bit more balance. Extend. Right hand down, left knee down. Twist the hips from side to side. We're going to do something I call fire hydrants. So you're going to flex the right foot, bring your leg up, try to keep the pelvis level, push the heel to the sky, and then open up that hip joint, bringing the right knee, nice big circle to the tricep. Keep pushing the ground away from you, bring the navel to the spine, and then come back the way you came there in the first place. Try to keep the lumbar spine nice and neutral. You don't want it sagging in. You still want to have a nice flat back-ish sort of position by contracting the core towards your spine. Right leg to right tricep, extend up, right knee down. Tuck it nice and high into that tricep, open back up, come back round, foot up to the sky, flex the foot, Place the knee down. Last one on each side. When you're pulling that knee, that foot towards you, but actively pushing it away, you should contract the hamstring. Opening up. Knee up to the sky. Place back down. Place it down. Come back onto the flat toes, shake out the wrists, loosen up the shoulders. Come into a high plank. Push the ground away from you, externally rotate the hands, the elbows. Stick your right foot off the ground. So three-legged plank, three-point contact plank, I guess. Right knee into that tricep on the right-hand side. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Keep doming the upper back. Pull the knee up as high as you can. Strengthen through the left leg. Flex the foot. Step outside the right hand. And coming into a lizard lunge. Place your left knee down to the ground. And we're just going to rotate out through the hips. So making gentle circles with the right knee. Flex the toes to protect that knee joint. You can take a few bounces with the left knee. And then you can bring the knee up. So it's a nice sort of lizard lunge, runner's lunge sort of hybrid here. Again, eyes of the elbows facing forward. Keep pushing the ground away from you, flexing the toes on the right foot. And just going to bring that left knee down and pop it back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. You should feel the thigh working there on the left hand side. Start pushing the ground away from you. Bring the right knee up into the right tricep. Step back. One-legged plank. Flex the right foot towards your bum. Pivot to the outside of the left hand. And place the foot down. Bringing your chest up to the sky. Right arm overhead for Wild Thing. Nice and light on the left toes. Keep the engagement in your glutes. Bring the chest to the sky, and we're simply just going to lower down. Keep nice and light on the toes. Keep the left arm straight, pushing into it at the same time, and bring your hips up. Wild Thing. Lower down. Squeeze the glutes as you come back up. 4, 5, 6. Contracting the side body as you push away. 7. Bring the right arm overhead. Squeeze the glutes. Bring the right hand down to the ground. And we're just going to roll all the way over and through. Sticking your right foot on top of your left knee. Coming into a reverse tabletop with the open hip on that right hip joint. So squeeze the glutes, pull the shoulder blades onto your back, and you can actively push your left knee up, pulling your right knee down, opening up the hip. As you exhale, lower the hips down, not fully to the ground. Now I like to have the fingertips facing towards my heels here. Keep pushing the ground away from you, and you're going to come up into reverse tabletop. Squeeze the glutes, and as you lower down, you're going to shift sort of nearly touching the ground. Then you're going to bring your bum back in between the hands, push the ground away from you, protracting the shoulder blades, engage the core by pulling it towards your spine, flex your feet, push the ground away from you. Coming back up on your inhale, reverse tabletop, squeeze the ground. Squeeze your glutes, push the ground away from you. Sink the hips, pull the hips back, straighten the legs, flex the feet, push the ground away from you. Engaging your core, doming the upper back. Push the ground away from you, reverse tabletop. This time you can come into a Lolasana if you choose. Now doing that, we lower down, push the ground away, coming in, and then bring your feet off the ground. Push the ground away. Sink your hips to the ground, flex your feet. Nice forward fold. Not for too long, so we're going to roll back up. Scoot your hips so you're nice and long on your mat. Place your arms up overhead. Begin to bring your feet up to the sky, flex your feet. Bring your hands to meet your feet. Lower all your body down as low as you can. Pull your feet back up. Now you don't want to let your lower back start arching when you get to this position here. As mine is now, you want to push the ground. You push your lower back into the ground. If your back doesn't want to stay on the ground, it means you've gone too low for where your core is at the moment. So come a little bit higher with your feet as you lower them down. 4, 5. Simply lower your feet to the ground. Nice and easy. Roll over. Prop your hands underneath your shoulders. And we're going to do from floor to chaturanga or low plank 5 times. So I'm just going to push up, squeeze the elbows into the side body, get your body prepared. Push up, lower down. 2, 3, 4, 5. On 5 we'll hold. Keep squeezing the arms in. Engage the core, squeeze the glutes. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Breathe through the uncomfortability. Push up, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Take a second or two. We're going to come in to high plank. Bring the left foot up for one-legged plank. Bring the knee into the left tricep as high as you can. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Doming the upper back. Eyes at the elbows facing forward. Bring it up as high as you can. Flex the left foot. Step it outside the left hand. Again, bring the toes up, so flex your feet to protect your knee. You can bring that right knee to the ground. You can just simply roll out the hip. Nice and gentle. You don't want to go too dramatic, too fast, too soon. Start doing a few little bounces. Open up the hip a little bit further. And we're going to do some of those quad stretching, I guess. Bring your right knee to the ground. Bring it back up to the ground. Bring it back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Prepare yourself, push into the ground, dome the upper back, engage the core, bring the knee up, step it back, one-legged plank, bring your left heel to your bum, roll to the outside of the right foot, step the toes down, open up through the chest, one thing. Again, rotate the shoulder so the eye of the elbow is facing away from you, squeeze the glutes, and we're going to lower down. You do want to be nice and light on the left toes. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Don't collapse into that shoulder. Squeeze the glutes at the top. I have lost count. We'll do 2 more. The last one. Reach up through the hand, gaze down to your right hand, and place your left hand next to your right. Bring the left knee over, and we're going to bring it through, underneath, coming into that reverse tabletop. 1 foot. Squeeze the glutes, flex the left foot, bring the shoulder blades onto your back, push the ground away from you. You can have your head back or forward, completely your choice, whatever feels comfortable for your neck. My personal preference is facing forward. Left knee down, right knee to the foot. Begin to place your left foot down to the ground, lowering down just so you're hovering. And again, I just prefer to have my hands so my fingers are facing forward. But play around, you might prefer out wide. And from here we're going to push up, reverse tabletop, bring the shoulders onto the back. And lower the hips down, shift the weight back. Lalasana, if it's in your practice. Place the hip feet down, bring the hips up. Again, if it's not in your practice, that's perfectly fine. Keep your heels onto the ground, push the ground away from you. You're still engaging the core. 2. The last one. Feet down, hips up. Come down to the ground, shift the hips back in between your hands, flex the feet, and take that forward fold. Roll back up, extend the feet to the end of the mat. Coming in for low plank crunches. So feet up to the sky, flex the feet, toes to the feet, and then lower both down. Same sort of cues as before, so make sure the lower back is always in contact with the ground. As soon as it doesn't come in contact with the ground, it means you're too low for your body at the moment. As you come up, bring your torso up, your shoulders off the mat to your feet. The last one. Lower all the way down. Simply roll over, feet other way this time. Scoot back onto your mat. Hands under the shoulders. 5 floor to low planks. 1, 2. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Hug the elbows into the side body. On 5 we hold. You can maybe come a little bit further forward. Keep gripping the mat with your fingertips. Pushing into the index finger and the thumb. Engage the core. On your next inhale, push up to plank. Roll back, downward facing dog. Roll through the spine, high plank. Downward facing dog. You're going to come all the way through to up dog, so bring your feet slightly wide, mat width apart. Inhale, roll through the spine. Start bringing your hips down, push the ground away from you. Make sure the shoulders are nice and decompressed, so you don't want them up nice and high. You want to be pushing the ground away from you. Bring your chest through. Stare straight ahead. Push into the index finger and the thumb. Squeeze the glutes. Taking a gentle back bend. Keep pushing the ground away from you. Feels like a little bit of a rest now, doesn't it? Pull them through the collarbones. You can bring your knees down and slowly lower onto your belly. I'm just going to do some shoulder opening. So extend your left arm out. I'll do right arm first, it's a little easier so you can see. Right arm away from you. Bring the right shoulder onto the ground, come up tenting on your left fingertips, roll to the outside of your hip. If that's not enough, bring your left foot over, so it's on the other side of your right foot, on your right knee. And if that's still not enough for you, you come back to neutral, take a nice bend in the elbow, so make sure the elbow and the shoulder are about the same height, and then roll onto the outside of the hip. I don't really like moving in this position too much, so once you're in, you feel comfortable, just stay there because it is very intense in the front part of your shoulder. Come back to neutral, extend your left arm away from you, and if you already know, come into that variation straight away. Otherwise you can try it out. Both sides of your body are different, so you might find more flexibility or less flexibility on this side. Come back to neutral. Push yourself back up. I'm going to grab my block. Take a comfortable seat. Just close your eyes. See if you can feel anything in your body. Is it talking to you, and where? Acknowledge it. Sigh it out. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you on the next one.